The front sprocket is a 428, but the chain is a 520. And the tank is punctured, so it started leaking gas like this. The decompressor isn't working right now, it won't start. Just sitting there, useless. It's a perfect day for us to dig into fixing this beast. This is our BSE J10. It's quite the chunky thing. It's got a fancy custom handlebar, full metal style. All the bits and pieces. It's got a 4-valve cylinder head. It looks solid but has this nasty surprise. Where are you? What now? Alright, it's moving. Nope. Something's not going to plan. It won't start at all. So in this video, we'll figure out what's wrong with it. If you're interested, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and throw a nice donation to the armed forces. And as always, let's wrench on. First thing that jumps out. Front sprocket is a 4228, but the chain is a 5020. Great combo, right? But we'll fix that. Why? How did that even happen? Probably didn't know better, and so they bought a new chain. The rear sprocket is definitely a 520 though. Some genius setup from the racers, I guess. But that's only half the mess. Next, we're dropping it apart to check the valves. Gotta find out why this thing refuses to fire up. So let's get into it. Clear some space and do this the right way. Check this out. We pulled the plastic off and turns out someone put in a bolt that was too long and it punctured the tank. Now it leaks fuel. Brilliant. Okay, we'll just put it back for now. Then we'll tell the owner what we're going to do about all this. We hooked up the tester. Time to check the compression. Alright, throttle closed, we got 7 bars, which isn't terrible, but we'd like more. Now testing with the throttle wide open. The starter's barely strong enough. We need to hook up a second battery and check again, because this one is totally dead. Tank's off, but now we found that the positive wire is thinner than the one on the fuse block. It's tiny. I don't even know why. Anyway, that wire's definitely getting replaced. Then we'll try starting it again. Meanwhile, the battery's on the charger, and we're going to check the valve clearances. I'll tear it down and show you how it should look. So let's get that nice valve cover off. This thing's got a proper 4-valve head. Nice, but someone's been messing with it for some DIY tuning. Also found out there's no gear position sensor. It doesn't show what gear you're in. Probably a cheap Chinese replacement, or who knows. And the air filter? Bone dry, dust falling out of it. So we've got plenty of work ahead, but we'll start with the valves. Compression isn't great either. Alright, under the valve cover now. Timing chain looks good. No slack except a tiny bit of side play. Tension is fine, like can't see the tensioner, but there's no play upwards at all. Here are the valves. We'll pop this cover and this one too. Line up the T mark in the window. Then we'll adjust the valves by that mark. So let's get to it. Here's our T mark lined up with the camshaft. See the mark on top too, and it's all aligned. The valves should have some clearance, they should wiggle sideways a bit, both of them. That's how it should feel. Now let's measure. Intake is 0.6 millimeters. Exhaust is 0.8 millimeters. I'll share the inches in a bit. All right, valves are adjusted. Intake 0.6, exhaust 0.8 millimeters. Inches, do the math if you need. And one more thing. Always check that decompressor. Ours isn't working now. It should flick back on its spring. There's a tiny wire sticking out under that spring. We need to hook it back up. I'll do that and show you how it should be. Okay, I pulled it through. See that little wire? I got it with an awl and gently hooked it back. Now the spring's tight again, and the decompressor works like it should. Let's keep reassembling. Exhaust is 0.8 millimeters, 0.03 inches. Intake is 0.6 millimeters, 0.02 inches. Valves are done. Now we'll put the valve cover back on. I'll show you another surprise. Nazar pulled the sprocket off. You have to see this. Valve cover's back on. We swapped out the wire for a thicker one. Way better than that cheap thin stuff. Shouldn't overheat now. That's sorted. Now the big kicker. While I was busy, Nazar removed the sprocket. And would you believe it? It's a 428. The chain says 520 right on the link, but they put a 428 on it. Can't fool a trained eye. For now, the wheel's disconnected. We're buttoning everything up, putting the battery back in, and we'll recheck compression with the valves adjusted. Let's see what happens. And here's the filter. Now you see why it's so dry. Nobody ever pulled it out. You have to remove the whole battery tray to get it out, but we're not lazy. It's our job. Got it out, gonna clean it, put it back, then it'll actually do its job. Inside's pretty clean, just bone dry. We'll fix that too. So let's go. We'll hook up the battery directly and see what compression we get. Wiring's done, valves are done. Let's try it. Battery's charged up. Let's crank it, Nazar. 6 bars. Throttle open. 9. Maybe that's just how this engine's built. Now we'll try a new spark plug and see if that helps. Nazar, check the spark too. Got a fresh plug. Fire it up. Spark's there. Great, that's a good sign. Hand me the ratchet and that little thing first. Doing it raw, haven't checked the manual yet. 8 bars is still low compression, but maybe it's normal for a 4-valve at idle. We'll see. The owner said it might have carb issues too. So more to check. All right, let's try it again. Got the fancy handlebar. Twist the throttle. Okay, hit the button. I'll give it gas. Go for it. Nothing. That battery's still weak. Did you turn the ignition on? Yeah, maybe just a bit more. What the heck? Even the throttle hand's tired already. Well, once it spins up properly, then we'll see. Okay, well, we got it started. That's already a win. Now we just need to figure out why it won't let us build up the RPMs. But like I said, it's running, which is great. Let's try the buttons now, warmed up. See what it says. The battery just doesn't have it, that's it. Says it's dead. Really strange though, because everything else starts up fine. I'm honestly surprised it's acting like this. The main thing is we got it started, but it's still not perfect. We've got an issue with the revs again. We'll poke around, adjust a few things. I'll show you how that turns out. Still need to order the sprocket. The link, as always, is in the description. So let's get back to figuring out what's wrong with this engine. After messing with it for a bit, we figured out what's going on here. Lift that up. They messed with the throttle here. If you just pull on it, there's so much extra slack that it only tightens up way down there. It should be lifting the throttle slide just so you see it clearly on the. It only lifts about half a centimeter. That's why we can't get it past 4,000 RPM. But if you pull it up manually, it screams like crazy. I can't even show you with the engine running. You wouldn't hear a thing. So now we'll try to extend that piece somehow. Maybe I've got something old lying around. We need an extra piece here, usually an aluminum tube. They brought me this carb too. They say their old carb was bad, but it's actually fine. It rattles like crazy, but I don't see that little aluminum bit here. So I'll figure something out. We'll extend that piece somehow. Either I'll find something in my stash, or I'll have to shorten the cable or something, so the throttle slide lifts fully. Then all that's left is to replace the sprocket. Also, I don't like how that starter behaves. It won't crank at all, not even with a charged battery. Something's off. It just doesn't have the strength to spin it all over. We'll open up the cover, check the gears, and see what's going on inside. So that's the deal for now. Anyway, we did a little mod. I cut off a piece from the old one and stuck it here. Now we'll put another piece on top so it stays in place nicely. We sanded it down a bit so the cable doesn't rub. Now the throttle lifts and drops completely. I'll try to start it and show you how it looks. But our starter's obviously struggling. The engineers did us no favors here. Wanted to get it out. We'll probably have to remove the exhaust. But that's not for sure. We'll see what the owner says about it. We put the tank back. You saw that. Let's try to fire it up here. Now the RPMs build up fine. It even starts, though the carb still needs a bit of tweaking. But that will do once it's warmed up and the sprocket's on so everything works smooth. We'll see about that starter. I think it's the problem. When it cranks for too long, it puts a heavy load on the wires. They get really hot. That usually happens when the starter isn't pulling the power properly, so it's binding up somewhere. But for now, compared to what it was like before, it's perfect. So we'll call the owner, order what we're missing, then put it all together and see how it rides. The sprocket is the proper size now, not like that other one. You can see just by looking at it that the small one didn't belong on this bike. Visually, it just didn't fit. But now we've got a 520, our perfect. Got a nice new gear lever too. I didn't find one from a BSE, but I found one from a Viper, I think. Should fit just fine. Also got a new dipstick because the old one looked like this. And a new chain. I'll leave links to all that in the video description so you know where to get it. Now I'm off to put it all together. The sprocket fit perfectly. See, no gaps, chain's tight, just like it should be. The owner will come by, we'll sit him on it and see how it holds up. Also, I swapped the chain for a regular one. They bought an O-ring chain with seals, but those are much heavier and pointless for this bike. Those seals just trap more mud and sand and wear out faster. It's cheaper to just buy 2 regular ones and swap them every few hours of riding. No need to clean or baby them. So for this machine, a normal chain makes more sense. Easier to blast through the mud. So for now, we're all set. Oil's in, everything's done. Time to try starting it up. Let's see how it goes. Perfect. Just music to my ears, fire and glory. I don't even have words for it. So let's finish putting it back together. And Ilyuka will show you how it rips. got our BSE all buttoned up. This 4-valve beast fried everyone's brain. Mine, the owner's, everyone's. All right, start it up. Ilyuka's legs are still short, but that's fine. Looks awesome. I can still hear it needs a bit of carb tuning, but that's it for this episode. If this was helpful, if you learned something, drop a like. And of course, don't forget about supporting Ukraine's armed forces. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.